If you'd like to learn more about poetry, you can reach us at... Psych, we just kidding. Good night, y'all.
Well, all of us aren't. And welcome to... Hi everyone, welcome back to Hearts and Minds official YouTube channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Atul Shvele and I'm a published poet and freelance writer. Please make sure you leave a comment down below after watching the video, share it with your friends and don't forget to like. For more information on this or any other episode, go to our website heartsandmind1.wordpress.com. There are additional resources, more reading material and link to my work if you're interested. On today's episode, we're going to talk about William Wordsworth. On April 7, 1770, William Wordsworth was born in Cockermouth, Cumbria, England. Wordsworth's mother died when he was 8. This experience shapes much of his later work. Wordsworth attended Hawkshead Grammar School, where his love for poetry was firmly established, and it is believed he made his first attempts at verse. While he was at Hawkshead, Wordsworth's father died, leaving him and his 4 siblings orphans. After Hawkshead, Wordsworth studied at St. John's College in Cambridge, and before his final semester, he set out on a walking tour of Europe, an experience that influenced both his poetry and his political sensibilities. While touring Europe, Wordsworth came into contact with the French Revolution. This experience, as well as a subsequent period living in France, brought about Wordsworth's interest and sympathy for the life, troubles, and speech of the common man. These issues proved to be the utmost importance to Wordsworth's work. Wordsworth's early poems were published in 1793 in the collection An Evening Walk and Descriptive Sketches. While living in France, Wordsworth conceived a daughter, Caroline, out of wedlock. He left France, however, before she was born. In 1802, he returned to France with his sister on a 4-week visit to meet Caroline. Later that year, he married Mary Hutchinson, a childhood friend, and they had 5 children together. Equally important in the poetic life of Wordsworth was his 1973 meeting with the poet Samuel Taylor Coleridge. It was with Coleridge that Wordsworth published the famous lyrical ballads in 1798. While the poems themselves are some of the most influential in Western literature, it is the preface of the second edition that remains one of the most important testaments to a poet's view on both his craft and his place in the world. In the preface, Wordsworth writes on the need for common speech within poems and argues that the hierarchy of the period, which valued epic poetry above the lyrical. Wordsworth's genre. Wordsworth had a belief that poetic style should be as simple and sincere as the language of everyday life, and that the more the poet draws on elemental feelings and primal simplicities, the better for his art. He advocated the use of simple language in poetry. William Wordsworth was an important poet of the Romantic age in English literature. My take on Mr. Wordsworth's work would be nothing but pure admiration. As a CBSE student, our English textbooks have had a lot of basic Wordsworth work to guide us through the idea of romanticism and imagery through romanticism. I personally love his work, not only because it defines his journey so well, but also gets finer and more relatable as he was true to his work. Most of my work follows the principles he laid down for this craft. Here I have 5 poems by Mr. Wordsworth that I'll be reading for you. Written in London, September 1802. O friend, I know not which way I must look for comfort, being as I am oppressed. To think that now our life is only dressed for show, mean handiwork of craftsman, cook, or groom. We must run, glittering like a brook in the open sunshine, or we are unblessed. The wealthiest man among us is the best. No grandeur now in nature or in book delight us. Repine, avarice, expense. This is idolatry, and these we adore. Plain living and high thinking are no more. The homely beauty of the good old cause is gone. Our peace, our fearful innocence, and pure religion, breathing household laws. It is a beauteous evening. It is a beauteous evening, calm and free. The holy time is quiet as a nun. Breathless with adoration, the broad sun is sinking down in its tranquility. The gentleness of heaven broads over the sea. Listen, the mighty being is awake, and doth with his eternal motion make a sound like thunder, everlastingly. Dear child, dear sweet girl, that walkest with me here, if thou appear untouched by solemn thought, thy nature is not therefore less divine. Thou liest in Abraham's bosom all the year, and worships at the temple's inner shrine, God being with thee when we know it not. The shepherd looking eastward softly said. The shepherd looking eastward softly said, Bright is thy veil, O moon, as thou art bright, for with that little cloud is ether spread, and penetrated all with tender light. She cast away and showed her fulgent head uncovered, dazzling the beholder's sight, as if to vindicate her beauty's right, her beauty thoughtlessly disparaged. Meanwhile, that veil removed or thrown aside, and floating from her, darkening as it went, and a huge mass to bury or to hide, approached this glory of the firmament, who meekly yields and is obscured and content with only calm triumph of a modest pride. October 1803. These times strike moneyed worldlings with dismay. Even rich men, brave by nature, taint the air with words of apprehension and despair, while tens of thousands thinking on their fray, men unto whom sufficient for the day our minds not stint or untilled are given, sound, healthy children of the God of heaven, are cheerful as the rising sun of May. Or do we gather hence but firmer faith that every gift of noble origin is breathed upon by hope's perpetual breath, that virtue and the facilities within are vital, and that riches are akin to fear, to change, to cowardice, and death. Mutability. From low to high doth distillation climb, and sink from high to low along a scale of awful notes, who concord shall not fall, a musical but melancholy chime, which they can hear who meddle not with crime, not avarice, nor over anxious care. Truth fails not, but her outward forms that bear the longest day to melt like frosty rime, that in the morning whiten hill and plain, and is no more, drop like the tower sublime of yesterday, which royally did wear his crown of weeds, but could not even sustain some casual shout that broke the silent air, or the unimaginable touch of time. And with that, we come to the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed the journey we took today. For full biography on Mr. Wordsworth, an additional 25 poems curated by myself, written by Mr. Wordsworth, head over to heartsandmind1.wordpress.com. Link to it will be in the description, all free of course. With each coming day, I hope you bring about a new change in your life, where the only thing consistent is inconsistency in the course of life. I wish you all the best. Remember tonight, signing off, Adarsh Pella.